Hey there, and welcome back to Hold and Modify, YouTube's most poorly produced, underproduced Amiga channel. And today we're going to be covering something that you've probably seen before if you watch all of us wacky guys on YouTube doing Amiga stuff. It's the Amiga branded keyboard. This is a Cherry MX Brown Switch keyboard, essentially a Windows keyboard, and it's pretty neat. It's pretty girthy and heavy and built really well. So what's your take on this, Q? What makes your video different from others, maybe? I don't know. Is it any different? Let's find out.
This computer will rule the world.
What am I talking about? What's my take on this? Well, I did watch everyone else's videos on this, and they did a wonderful job. They're going to do a far better job covering all of the neat technical things behind how this keyboard was created, and I definitely suggest those. Chris Edwards made a video on this. Douglas Compton made a video on this. Even our good old buddy RMC made a video on this. So everyone has a video on this keyboard. That's the Simulant, and I'll put a link in the description for this keyboard, of course. It's the Simulant Amiga keyboard. It is a simple, 101 key Windows PC computer keyboard thing, right? That's what it is, dressed to look like an Amiga. And you see the little left Amiga down here and right Amiga, and there's a little Amiga beach ball here. It is gorgeous. It is very well built. I love it to death. Like, I wanted a new keyboard with these switches, and this fits the bill because I'm a nerd and I love Amiga, and why not have a cool Amiga keyboard? Now, you may ask yourself, well, it's an Amiga keyboard, it doesn't work with the Amiga. So it's a USB keyboard, so if your Amiga is configured with USB, it will sort of work, yes. Now they are coming out with an adapter that will allow this to plug into a real Amiga and act like a legit Amiga keyboard. Now, does that adapter only work with this keyboard? I highly doubt it, because remember, this is just a standard PC keyboard. So I'm sure you could buy that adapter and it will work with any PC keyboard, including the one you have right now. But does your keyboard have all this cool Amiga stuff on it? This is a luxury item, I admit. For the price that they're charging, and do you really need it? No. But it's one of those neat Amiga nerd gadgets that we just love to have. Listen, my primary use for this is going to be in WinUAE, what you've been seeing running in the background here. I know a lot of folks might be thinking, hey, it'd be cool to have a new keyboard to buy for my real Amiga, but for the last 15, 17 years of me using WinUAE to do various Amiga stuff, part of the illusion that I've always missed is the keyboard. Because I'm using Windows keyboards all this time, and you have to kind of do the mental memory of like, okay, on a Windows keyboard, this is left Amiga and this is right Amiga. Okay, I got to remember all that stuff. I know it seems silly. Like, really, dude, you can't remember two keys? Of course I can remember two keys. But again, this goes towards the packaging the whole thing, the whole emulation scene, like especially if you run WinUAE, in full screen mode, okay, or if you're running another emulator